The special edition of The Lead. Of course, I am Shahan Ramkisoon, and we are broadcasting live from the Central Methodist Church. This is where hundreds of refugees and asylum seekers are camping outside for about 4 months. They say they want the UNHCR as well as the South African government to help them out of our country and to other countries because they don't feel safe here. It's an ongoing battle and there seems to be no end in sight. The matter now in court, that decision expected on Monday about these refugees' fate. Let's speak to the Minister of Home Affairs, Aaron Motsoaledi, on this story. Thanks so much for your time, Minister. We appreciate it. So we're looking at these people outside the Methodist Church. They're waiting for answers. They're saying they want to move to other countries, but we know that's not going to happen.
Precisely. Unfortunately, it is not going to happen. Not at all.
So what's the solution?
Well, look, there is one and only one solution: to reintegrate people back to where they were before coming to the church. Because for us as South African government, I mean, I can't take a person to another country. We don't own a country. You can't go to another country and say, I'm bringing so and so to a country. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And already the two countries that have been mentioned is Namibia and Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. With Namibia, I've got a letter from the minister who said, no, it's not going to happen. We're not saying we're bringing them. You remember there was a demand that they want to be escorted to the border with Namibia. Middle of January, I was in Paris. I met the Deputy Minister of Immigration and Refugee Affairs from Canada. And she said that's not going to happen. But remember, the demand is not made against us as South African government. It's against the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which we also don't control anyway.
Yeah. So you're talking about reintegration, Minister, but these people do not want to be reintegrated because they say they fear for their safety.
Well, what can I do? And well, the other thing that we must understand is that the so-called xenophobic attacks never took place anywhere in Cape Town, not since 2008. But at any rate, leave that aside. You are asking me to do something which is impossible for me to do. What can I do?
Yeah.
I'm repeating to you, it's impossible for us, South African government, to tell another country that we are bringing people. It doesn't work that way. Even United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, it doesn't work that way. Countries that are called third country resettlement countries, they go to UN, they append their names and say, I'm available for receiving people. But they make one condition, and it's very clear. And the Deputy Minister of Immigration and Refugee Affairs in Canada told me exactly the same thing. That is one condition. People apply, they are given, the countries giving profiles, and they check and they decide who to take. That's what they are saying.
Yeah.
And the United Nations doesn't own them when we don't own them.
So as Home Affairs, have you managed to see whether all of the refugees and asylum seekers here have the relevant documentation to be in South Africa?
No. That's not important at this juncture. We can do it anytime. We did it in Pretoria. As soon as they move out of this church to a better place, we'll do it. You can't do it right here in this church. But we don't think that is a solution because after finding out, we know our experience in Pretoria is that 85% were found to be documented. What then? Or even here, if you find that a certain number is documented, the other number is not, what then? Because you can't give them that documentation as refugees and asylum seekers, but what then?
Yeah.
So it's not the most important thing or the most important thing that is being demanded.
So let's talk about.
I heard you saying they are waiting for the response from the court on the 17th. Do you know what the court is going to rule about? It's not going to rule about going to Canada or going to any other country. It's going to rule about the fact that the city council has phoned to evict them from the church.
Yeah.
That is the ruling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's going to be a very ugly situation then, because if the court does rule that they need to be removed from here, we're going to see scenes of refugees being put into vans and taken away, and that will get the international community upset as well.
Not necessarily so. It shouldn't be really.
Well, they're refusing to move from here already. Do you think they're going to listen to a court order?
Well, it does not necessarily have to be ugly scenes. But you see, one of the things that must happen on the issue of migration, you know, I I was in a conference of OECD in January where all the OECD countries came and they invited key countries in regions like South America. There was Brazil, Southeast Asia, there was Indonesia, here there was in Africa, which was South Africa. There were quite a number of countries, including all the European countries. One of the key issues they mentioned there is that migration policy does not work if enforcement and compliance are not effective. There has to be enforcement and compliance. Enforcement of what? Of rules. Compliance of what? Compliance is both ways. It's not only on the government, but also on the refugees. For instance, you can't allow an employer to employ a foreign national only to exploit them. If they employ you, they must pay you the same salary that they pay the people from that country. That's compliance. But then it goes further to say, on the side of migrants, for instance, if you are coming on a visit, you are given a visa for 3 months, you have to respect that 3 months. So both ways, the rules. Because once you throw the rules out of the window, then it's the law of the jungle.
Yeah,
yes.
I get what you're saying and I understand it fully, but you must admit it's a very tricky situation for South Africa that's been accused of being xenophobic so many times over the past couple of years.
Well, we have been accused, we are still being accused, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but you can't shrug your shoulders. These are human beings we're talking about.
No. I know that very well. I know that very well. You can't talk as if we are saying there's no solution. We've given it and say the only solution as a government, which you can see, and it's not only us, even many of the bodies, they are saying the only solution is reintegration back into community. We don't have any other. United Nations doesn't have any other. No other country has got any other. Yeah. Unless you can dream about something which you don't know about and put it on the table. But up so far, nobody has never told us of any other possible solution that's possible. I've just told you, Namibia said no, Canada said no, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees said no, we can't do it because we don't in any country. So you can't say no, you are not shrugging your shoulders, these are human beings. We've given a solution which they can't accept. The ball is in their court, really. It's not in our court.
All right, thank you, Minister.
Absolutely not.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.